Hey Aquarius, I need to share something with you today because the energy coming through is incredibly raw and honestly quite painful. But it also holds so much truth about what is really happening behind the weed. Scenes in this connection. You know how sometimes we sense things are not quite right, but we cannot quite put our finger on what exactly is going on? The cards are revealing a situation that is far more complex and heartbreaking than what appears on the surface. Someone in your energy has been going through the motions with another person, but their heart has never truly left you. And what is coming to light now is going to shake the foundation of whatever illusion they have been trying to maintain. The theme here is deception unraveling, false happiness crumbling, and truth demanding to be heard. This person has been trying to replace what you two had, trying to convince themselves and everyone around them that they have moved on, that they are happy with someone else. But Aquarius, the universe has a way of exposing what is real and what is merely a performance. And what is about to happen, or what may have already started happening, is that moment when the mask slips and the carefully constructed facade cannot hold anymore. I shuffled the deck with your situation in mind, asking the cards to show me what is really going on energetically, what has been hidden, and what is now coming into the light. When I laid out the cards, I felt this heavy, complicated energy of someone who has been living a lie, someone who has been using another person as a placeholder, while their true feelings remain fixated on you. This is not a simple story of moving on. This is a story of someone running from their truth, and that truth is about to catch up with them in a way they cannot ignore. Let me walk you through what the cards are revealing, and I think you are going to recognize some of these patterns in your own experience. The first card that came through is the Page of Cups, and this card is so significant because it represents emotional messages, genuine feelings, and youthful, vulnerable love. But here is what makes this card so poignant in your reading. It is showing me that this person's true emotional state is that of someone who still carries tender, unresolved feelings for you. The Page of Cups is not about mature, stable commitment. It is about those raw, honest emotions that have not been processed or released. This person has been walking around with their heart still very much connected to you, even while they are physically present with someone else. What the Page of Cups reveals is that deep down, underneath whatever they are showing the world, this person's emotional truth is simple and pure. They still care about you. They still think about you. When they are alone with their thoughts, when the distractions fall away, it is your energy they return to. The Page of Cups can also indicate emotional immaturity, and that is definitely present here. Instead of being honest about their feelings, instead of doing the difficult work of either fully committing to someone else or admitting they are not over you, they have chosen this middle ground of deception. They have chosen to keep one person around as a distraction while their heart secretly belongs elsewhere. I am seeing that this person may have sent you messages in the past, or they keep thinking about reaching out to you. The Page of Cups often shows up when someone is on the verge of making emotional contact, but has not yet found the courage. They draft messages in their mind, they rehearse what they would say, but then fear or pride or circumstances hold them back. But here's the thing, Aquarius, energy does not lie. Even if they have not explicitly told you how they feel, their energy has been broadcasting it. You probably felt it, sensed it, knew on some level that they were not genuinely happy or settled with this other person. The Page of Cups is also telling me that this situation has an innocence to it that has been corrupted. What they feel for you is real, but what they have done with those feelings, how they have handled this situation, has been anything but innocent. They have hurt someone else by using them as a replacement, as a way to avoid their true feelings. And now the universe is bringing this to a head. The emotional truth that the Page of Cups represents cannot stay hidden forever. It wants to be expressed, acknowledged, honored. And that is exactly what is starting to happen now. Moving to the next card, I pulled the King of Pentacles. And this is where the reading gets even more interesting because it reveals the practical, material, and external reality of this situation. The King of Pentacles represents stability, security, material comfort, and the image of having it all together. This person has been trying to build or maintain an image of stability with someone else. On the outside, they may appear to have a solid relationship, a good setup, maybe even a life that looks enviable to others. The King of Pentacles is all about appearances, about being the person who has their life figured out, who is successful, grounded, and secure. But here's what the cards are showing me. This external stability is built on a foundation of emotional dishonesty. The King of Pentacles in this context represents someone who is trying to convince themselves that practical compatibility, comfort, and security are enough. Maybe this other person offers them something tangible, something that looks good on paper. Maybe it is easier to be with someone who does not challenge them the way you do. Someone who does not make them feel as deeply or question themselves as much. The King of Pentacles. This can also indicate someone who is very concerned with how things look from the outside. This person may have stayed in this situation, partly because of what other people think. Because admitting they made a mistake or that their heart is elsewhere would disrupt the image they have been presenting. There is a stubbornness to the King of Pentacles energy, a resistance to change even when that change is necessary. They have invested time, energy, maybe even resources into this connection with someone else. And the idea of walking away from that investment feels like failure. But what the King of Pentacles cannot escape is this. No amount of material comfort or external stability can replace genuine emotional connection. You cannot build a real foundation when your heart is somewhere else. And what is happening now is that the cracks in this foundation are becoming impossible to ignore. The King of Pentacles is being forced to confront the fact that what he has built is not sustainable. That the security he thought he had created is actually an illusion because it is not rooted in authentic feeling. I am also getting that this person may have practical reasons. They are giving themselves or others for why they need to stay away from you. Maybe they tell themselves you are too complicated, too intense, too unpredictable. The King of Pentacles likes things to be manageable and controlled. What you represent to them is something that cannot be controlled. You represent real emotion, real depth, real connection, and that scares them because it means vulnerability. It means not being able to maintain the composed, stable image they hide behind. The third card is the Chariot. And this is such a powerful card in this reading because it represents movement, determination, and conflicting forces. The Chariot shows someone who is trying to move forward, but is being pulled in two different directions. In traditional tarot imagery, the Chariot shows a figure trying to control two sphinxes or horses that want to go in opposite directions. That is exactly what is happening here. This person is trying to move forward with someone else, trying to steer their life in a direction that makes logical sense. But their heart and their mind are not in agreement. The Chariot can indicate someone who is very willful, someone who believes they can control their emotions and their circumstances through sheer determination. This person has been telling themselves that they can make this work with the other person if they just try hard enough. If they just focus on the positives and ignore what their heart is really saying. But the Chariot also reveals that this approach is exhausting. Trying to control conflicting desires, trying to force something that is not natural, requires constant effort and constant vigilance. And that is not sustainable. What I am seeing with the Chariot is that this person has been in a state of internal war. Part of them wants to do the right thing, wants to honor the commitment they have made to someone else, wants to be the stable, reliable person the King of Pentacles represents. But another part of them, the part connected to the Page of Cups energy, is still emotionally invested in you. They dream about you, think about you, compare this other person to you constantly. And no matter how hard they try to move forward, they cannot escape the pull they feel toward you. The Chariot is also telling me that there has been a lot of mental and emotional exhaustion around this. This person may appear confident or in control on the outside, but internally, they are struggling. They are tired of pretending, tired of fighting their own feelings, tired of maintaining a facade that requires so much energy. And what happens when someone gets too tired to keep fighting? They surrender. The control slips. The truth comes out. In the context of your reading theme, the Chariot represents the moment when this person can no longer maintain the balance. Something tips the scales. Maybe it is a moment when they are with this other person and they accidentally say your name. Maybe it is a situation where their real feelings become too obvious to hide. The chariot moving forward with those opposing forces eventually reaches a point where the direction must be chosen definitively, and you cannot go two ways at once forever. Now we come to the Eight of Wands, and this card is all about sudden movement, rapid developments, and things happening quickly. After all, the internal struggle shown by the previous cards, the Eight of Wands tells me that the situation is about to shift dramatically and fast. This is the card of messages flying, truth coming out, and momentum that cannot be stopped. When the Eight of Wands appears, it indicates that whatever has been building under the surface is now going to manifest in the physical reality in a very obvious way. What I am picking up with the Eight of Wands is that the confrontation, or a revelation you are asking about, where he essentially admits to her that he wants her far away from his life, is going to happen, or has happened suddenly and intensely. This is not going to be a gentle, gradual realization. This is going to be explosive, passionate, and undeniable. The Eight of Wands shows things coming to a head all at once. Maybe there is an argument that escalates quickly. Maybe emotions that have been bottled up suddenly burst out. Maybe a situation where he can no longer pretend and everything comes spilling out. The Eight of Wands can also represent your name being spoken. Messages being sent, or communication that has been held back suddenly being released. In the context of your reading, this could very literally be the moment when he shouts your name. When in a moment of raw emotion or frustration or longing, your name escapes his lips and shatters the illusion he has been maintaining. The other person hears it and suddenly realizes what has been true all along. She is not the one he truly wants. She has been a substitute, a placeholder, someone he was using to avoid dealing with his real feelings for you. The Eight of Wands does not allow for slow processing or gentle transitions. It is the lightning strike, the sudden clarity, the moment when everything changes in an instant. And what this card is showing me is that this person is not going to be able to ease into this truth or handle it diplomatically. It is going to come out messy, urgent, and undeniable. The fake happiness cannot withstand the Eight of Wands energy. Whatever carefully constructed story he has been telling himself and others is going to be blown apart. By the force of his real emotions breaking through, I am also seeing with the Eight of Wands that after this revelation, things are going to move quickly toward resolution. He is not going to be able to go back to pretending once the truth is out. The other person is not going to be able to stay in this situation once she realizes she has been living in someone else's shadow. The Eight of Wands brings swift endings to situations that have been artificially prolonged. It clears the air, even though the process is uncomfortable and chaotic. The fifth card is the Magician. And this card is fascinating in your reading because it represents manifestation, will, and the power to create reality. But the Magician can also represent manipulation, and I am seeing both aspects at play here. On one level, the Magician shows that this person has been trying to manifest a reality where they can have stability and comfort without dealing with the depth of their feelings for you. They have been using their will and their mental energy to try to create a version of life that works logically. Even if it does not work emotionally, the Magician has all the tools laid out before him, and he knows how to use them. This person is not naive or unaware. They know exactly what they are doing when they keep someone else around. While pining for you, they are consciously making choices, consciously maintaining this situation, consciously deciding not to be fully honest. The Magician represents that conscious agency, that deliberate action. This is not someone stumbling into a situation by accident. This is someone who has been actively creating and maintaining a specific dynamic. But here's where the Magician energy becomes really significant. This person is about to realize, or is realizing now, that you cannot manipulate your way out of genuine feeling. The Magician can create illusions, can put on a show, can make things appear a certain way. But ultimately, the Magician's power is limited by truth. You can only pretend for so long before reality reasserts itself. And what is happening in your situation is that all the mental gymnastics, all the clever justifications, all the ways this person has tried to manipulate the situation into something manageable are failing. The Magician also indicates that there is going to be a reckoning with personal power and responsibility. This person is being forced to own their choices, to acknowledge the impact of their actions, to stop hiding behind excuses or circumstances and admit what they have really been doing. They have been playing games, and the magician reversed or challenged shows that those games are no longer working. The tools they thought they could use to control the situation are becoming useless in the context of the confrontation, where he tells her he wants her far away from his life. The magician represents the moment when he finally uses his voice and his will to speak his truth. Even though that truth is painful and disruptive, he is manifesting what has been in his heart all along, finally aligning his external reality with his internal truth. And while this is destructive to the illusion he has been maintaining, it is also necessary. The magician ultimately is about authentic creation, and you cannot authentically create anything when you are building on a foundation of lies. The final card in your reading is the Page of Pentacles. And this card offers such an interesting perspective on where things are heading after all of this intensity and revelation. The Page of Pentacles is about new beginnings in the material world, about learning, growing, and approaching life with fresh eyes. After everything falls apart, after the truth comes out, after the fake happiness collapses, what happens next? The Page of Pentacles suggests a period of rebuilding, but this time with more honesty and more awareness. For this person, the Page of Pentacles indicates they are going to have to start over in many ways. They are going to have to learn some hard lessons about honesty, about respecting other people, about not using people as placeholders for what they really want. The Page of Pentacles is a student, someone who is still learning how to navigate the material world and practical relationships. This person thought they were a King of Pentacles, thought they had it all figured out, but they are about to realize they are still very much a page, still learning fundamental lessons about how to build genuine connections. The Page of Pentacles also suggests a humbling. This person is going to have to come down from whatever pedestal they have been standing on and admit that they made mistakes, they hurt people, that they were not as together or as stable as they presented themselves to be. There is an innocence to the Page of Pentacles, but also a naivety. This person is going to see how much they did not understand about love, about honesty, about the consequences of using someone else's heart carelessly. For you, Aquarius, the Page of Pentacles offers a message about new beginnings too. This situation has likely been heavy on your heart, confusing, painful. You have probably wondered what was real, questioned yourself, felt the impact of this person's inability to be honest. But the Page of Pentacles says that once the truth is fully revealed, once the illusion collapses completely, you are going to have the opportunity to approach your life and your worth with fresh clarity. You are going to see this situation for what it truly was. And that clarity is going to free you to build something real, something solid, something that does not require you to compete with shadows or wonder if you are truly valued. The Page of Pentacles can also indicate practical changes and new opportunities in the physical world. After this emotional storm passes, there may be tangible shifts in your life, new paths opening, new possibilities emerging. The page is always at the beginning of a journey, and while beginnings can feel uncertain, they also hold so much potential. This ending is making space for your new beginning. One where you are not entangled with someone who cannot be honest about their feelings or their choices. So, Aquarius, when I look at all 6 cards together, here's the story they are telling. Someone has been carrying genuine feelings for you, represented by the Page of Cups, while trying to maintain an image of stability and security with someone else, shown by the King of Pentacles. They have been internally conflicted, trying to move forward while being pulled in 2 directions, as the Chariot reveals. But that tension is reaching a breaking point, and the Eight of Wands shows that things are about to explode into the open rapidly and dramatically. The Magician indicates that this person has been consciously maintaining this situation, but is now being forced to face the truth and use their power more honestly. And finally, the Page of Pentacles suggests that after everything falls apart, there is an opportunity for genuine new beginnings, for learning, for rebuilding on a foundation of truth. What you asked about, this moment where he tells her he wants her far away from his life, where he shouts your name and the fake happiness collapses, that is the Eight of Wands moment breaking through. That is when all the internal conflict of the Chariot, all the emotional truth of the Page of Cups, and all the manipulation shown by the Magician converge into one explosive, undeniable moment of truth. And the woman he has been with is going to realize, painfully and clearly, that she was never truly chosen, that she was filling a space meant for someone else, that the happiness she thought they had was a performance. I want to be really honest with you about something, Aquarius. While it might feel validating to know that this person still has feelings for you, that they have been struggling with those feelings all along, please remember that their behavior has been hurtful and disrespectful to everyone involved, including you. Using another person as a replacement while harboring feelings for someone else is not romantic. It is unkind. And the fact that they have not been honest with you, with themselves, or with this other person shows a level of emotional immaturity that needs to be addressed before any real, healthy connection can happen. The cards are showing you the truth of the situation, but they are also showing you that truth does not automatically mean everything works out perfectly. This person is going to have to do real work on themselves, represented by the Page of Pentacles' journey of learning and growth. They are going to have to prove through actions and consistency that they are capable of the honesty and integrity that real love requires. For now, the most important thing is that you are seeing clearly what is really happening. You are not imagining things. You are not making up the connection. You're not crazy for sensing that something was off in their other relationship. The cards confirm that your intuition has been accurate, but they also encourage you to honor yourself enough not to accept breadcrumbs or half-truths or someone who comes to you only after their other options have fallen apart. The collapse of the fake happiness is not the end of the story. It is a necessary clearing, a truth that had to come out, a situation that could not continue as it was. What comes after depends on whether this person is willing to do the real work, and whether you are willing to wait for someone who has already shown you how they handle difficult emotions and complicated situations. You deserve someone who chooses you clearly, openly, without hesitation or hidden agendas. You deserve someone who does not need to lose everything else before they recognize your value. The cards are showing you the truth, but they are also empowering you to make your own choices about what you will accept and what you will walk away from. Trust what you see unfolding. Trust your own worth, and know that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to let other people learn their lessons while you focus on building a life that reflects your true value.